Once Upon a Time is one of my favorite live-action TV series. I just love the amount of plot and the amount of effort that went into this beautiful show, giving us fairy tale characters' backstories that are believable each time, and they managed to jumble them all together like it's no problem at all. It's just amazing how they tell these many stories, and yet they have fit them into only 4 seasons so far. However, I haven't been up to date with the show sadly due to personal life endeavors, so I have only seen the first 3 seasons. And therefore this list I'm about to share is not up to date, and I apologize. But I still have a lot of main characters on this list so that it won't be that big of an issue. Anyways, here are my top 10 favorite characters from this magnificent show. Number 10. Mary Margaret Blanchard, Snow White. I know Snow White is like the main fairy tale icon of this show, but I just don't like her character as much as some others. And it's not because she's a princess, okay? I'm not a sexist. Anyways, I do really like Snow White's character. She's loyal to her husband Prince Charming. She's only done one dark thing throughout the entire series, but that was only to save another person's life. And she can fight her own battles, unlike Disney originally had you believe. There's nothing to really dislike about this character. However, the main reason she's so low on this list is because, well, the actress rather. I mean, sometimes her acting can be a little but still, a great character and still makes the top 10. Just by a smidge. Number 9. Malcolm, Peter Pan. Peter Pan may be a hero in other storybook lore, but in this series, he's one of the most evil and powerful villains that the main cast of heroes has ever gone up against. In this show, his backstory is quite the twist. If you don't want any spoilers, then skip ahead to this time. It is revealed near the end of the first half of Season 3 that Peter Pan is actually the father of Rumpelstiltskin. How this is possible is that Rumpel's father, Malcolm, was a dirty rotten thief, and young Rumpel wanted his dad to stop stealing money from people. When he realized that as long as Rumpel lives in the village, he will always be a hustler, 2 ladies give him a magic bean so that he and his dad can go to another realm where they can start over. His dad decides that they should go to Neverland, since he would always visit there as a boy, and it was a very magical place where you could fly without a care. But as it turns out, the magic doesn't work for Malcolm, because he's not a boy anymore. So he has to become a boy in order to use the magic in Neverland. And before he can be a child again, he has to give up something that exposes the grown-up he really is. His son. That is how Rumpelstiltskin and Peter became enemies, and that is how Peter became ruler of Neverland. Being one of the most dangerous and evil villains in the show, however, isn't quite enough. But the character really fucking creeps me out, and it really gives me chills whenever he's on screen. And the actor they picked to play Peter is amazingly spot on. So Peter Pan definitely takes the cake home as one of the best villains I've seen on TV. Number 8. Lacey, or Belle. Belle all around is my favorite Disney princess of all time, mainly because she actually doesn't force herself to love a prince like most others. And she can see the beauty inside even the most hideous creatures, which I respect her greatly for. And the character and actress of Belle in this show is fucking amazing. They got it right on the dot. The actress who plays Belle is exactly what I imagined Belle would be in a live-action TV show. And those eyes. Damn it, those eyes are beautiful. Well, my girlfriends are better, but still. And just how passionate and strong-willed her character is. It's just breathtaking. It really gives me a sense of comfort whenever there's a scene with her. And she has gone through so much as well, being locked up alone for 28 years by the evil queen, struggling to maintain a relationship with Rumpelstiltskin, being fucking shot in the back and losing her memory. Jesus Christ! But still she manages to be one of the strongest characters in this series, and she is just incredible in every way. Too bad I had to put her so low on the list though. Number 7. Henry Swan, or Henry Mills. The ultimate glue that holds this series together pretty much. The grandson of Snow White and the son of the show's main protagonist, Emma Swan. Ever since he showed up on his mother's apartment doorstep and announced,
"My name's Henry. I'm her son."
He has been incredibly enjoyable to watch. Are kids that are this intelligent out there? Cause if there is, I want to adopt them. This kid is unbelievably clever, and well, he has the purest heart of every character in the show. How can you not love a character like that? In the first season, it was his goal to convince his mother that Storybrooke was a cursed town, and only her mother could break the curse that is keeping everybody from remembering who they are. And he never gave up even when things were at their most hopeless. He almost died in a mine trying to search for evidence. He took a poisonous apple turnover for his mom. This kid is fucking tough as nails. And even after his goal was complete and he finally managed to save everyone, he still continued to play a big role in the story from then on. This kid has to be one of my favorite child characters that I've seen on TV to date. Number 6. August Wayne Booth, Pinocchio. I'm not talking about the child version of Pinocchio, by the way. The child version in this show was like unbearable for me, except in the scene where he's with baby Emma. No, I'm talking about the awesome adult version of him, August Wayne Booth. He first travels into Storybrooke in the first season, and no one has a clue who he is. And for quite a while, he was creepy as fuck. Acting mysterious all the time, always watching everything unfold by the sidelines. Eesh. But then when it turns out he's Pinocchio, when I look back at how he acts earlier in the season, I realize something. He's just being honest. And sometimes being honest means you don't have a lot to say, and you need to remain mysterious. Even when people ask him who he is, he doesn't lie, but rather bends the truth to make it sound more mysterious. It takes some really clever minds to make that work out so perfectly. And I myself am a huge fan of characters like that. Also, just how he's there for Emma and uses very clever ways to lead Emma to the truth about her past and what part she plays in Season 1's curse. It's just very well done. So August definitely makes this list. Number 5. Killian Jones, Captain Hook. Many know this character as the rival of Peter Pan, but in this series, you get to find out a shit ton more about him. First off, he's not portrayed as the usual middle-aged man with a wig like you would assume. Hell, even Emma points that out at one point.
In these stories, what was I like? Other than a voon, handsome, I gather.
If waxed mustaches and perms are your thing.
I take it by your tone, perms are bad.
But Captain Hook is still pretty badass in this show. At first I didn't think I was going to like him, mostly due to the fact that he is portrayed as a young hunk. But as I got to know his character more in depth, he became one of my absolute favorites in the show. Yes, he does start out as an unlikable pirate, who still has quite the lovely charm, but the more time he's on screen, the more you find out about what he is deep down. A caring man with a bigger heart than most can see. He had a brother who he would never leave behind, he had a wife that he loved dearly. And I know a lot of Once fans are going to be like, but he stole Rumple's wife. But she was a terrible wife for Rumple, so who cares? And all of that was just taken away from him by either Peter Pan or Rumpelstiltskin. Even the evil shit that Hook does later on in his life as a pirate, he regrets doing, like ruining Ariel's chance to find her husband-to-be. And, once again, skip to this time to avoid spoilers, he even falls in love with Emma, which was a twist I thought was gonna fuck everything up, but it didn't. And it actually worked out really nicely. I didn't see those two as becoming a couple whatsoever at first. But then boom, my views changed and I now think Emma and Hook make the perfect couple. So yeah, Hook has a lot of detail to his character. A lot of gray areas on his surface. Also looking after young Balefire like he was his own son, that really pulled my heartstrings. It may have been short-lived, but it was still amazing how much they connected. So Hook definitely is one of the best. But sadly is only halfway up the list because there are still 4 more characters from the series I still love more. Number 4. David Nolan, Prince Charming. Another one of the main puzzle pieces to this series, Prince Charming, as you know, is the charming husband of Snow White. And I have to admit, when he was David Nolan and had no memory of being a prince in Season 1, I really didn't like his character. Not only was he bland as fuck, but he was also kind of an asshole. I mean, he was so willing to have an affair with Catherine. Okay, feelings for another woman or not, you chose to marry the woman you're married to. I don't give 2 shits if you have no memory of it. I don't give 2 shits if Prince Charming and Snow White are supposed to be together. And the fact that you don't have any memory of it makes it even worse. You should have continued to make new memories with Catherine, your actual wife at the time, instead of cheating on her just because this woman makes more goddamn sense. Right from there, I started to hate David's guts. And then he believes Mary Margaret, the woman he had strong feelings for committing a crime he knows she can never commit. Fuck you! After those 2 horrible moments in David's storyline, I had absolutely no respect at all for David Nolan. Hell, not even Prince Charming, because that entire time when we got flashbacks of Prince Charming, he was acting like a fucking macho man. Even when he was saving Princess Abigail's actual lover. Also, yes, I did feel bad for Catherine Nolan when David divorced her ass. She had every right to throw a fit of depression and rage. She had every right to smack Mary Margaret in the face. Also, I was thinking maybe everything would turn out fine and maybe she would start dating Storybrooke's Frederick. But nope. They first meet when Catherine bumps into his shoulder and he's all like, "Watch it." So yeah, Season 1 was cruel as hell to Catherine Nolan. And I hated David so much for it. Anyways, after all that ranting, you're probably wondering why he's my 4th favorite character. Well, it's rather how he amazingly redeemed himself in Season 2. When he became Prince Charming again, I actually gained back my respect for him. Pretty damn quickly, too. I mean, he's obviously a very loyal and loving husband, cares deeply about his family and wants them to be safe from harm, and will go out of his way to risk his life to save them at every turn. My god, that's the true definition of heroic. Prince Charming is like the Superman of this show. Just amazing. So, hell yeah, Prince Charming from Season 2 onward makes his way into my top 5. Number 3. Emma Swan. The main protagonist of the whole series, so you're probably wondering, why the hell is she at number 3? Well, just because she's the spotlight most of the time, I still think 2 other characters have more likable qualities. I mean, don't get me wrong, Emma is an amazing character. Sure, she has her Stonewall moments a lot, which I don't like, and is probably the main reason she isn't at number 1 or 2. But she is still a very strong female lead, and is the reason I believe that this show manages to keep me pulled in. I mean, she could be a hard-ass, talking and acting all tough, but only when she really needs to. But other times, she shows her softer and loving side. Also, I feel her pain whenever she is in pain. I mean, being abandoned by her parents and her husband, and to top the sundae, giving up her baby? And then suddenly being reunited with all of them, but only after years of being alone. It's really tough, and she has a lot of internal conflicts because of it. And it's just amazing whenever she opens herself up and is able to talk things out, and make things better for herself and those around her. Most of my teary-eyed moments from watching this show come from scenes focused on Emma and her dark past and present moments. She really knows how to reach out to the audiences on an emotional level. And the final reason why I love this character so much is that she reminds me of someone I love with all my heart as well. And just knowing that there's a chance for her to be happy makes me happy. The same thing goes for Emma. It's just amazing how much I think of Emma as a person, and not just a TV show character. Anyways, before I get teary-eyed right now, let's get to the last top 2, shall we? Number 2. Regina Mills, the Evil Queen. No, this isn't some villain addiction bias or anything. Regina definitely deserves the spot on the list. I mean, just the drastic change in between Season 1's Regina and Season 2's Regina is amazing. Just how much she goes through. I mean, for pretty much all of Season 1, you probably despise Regina. I mean, she was the Evil Queen after all. That was all there was to her character. And she did all these despicable things to the characters, like crushing their hearts, driving people out of town, making her own adopted son Henry think he was insane for thinking something that was secretly true and she knew it was true, for his entire childhood almost? Damn, you can't get more unlikable than that. But then when Season 2 came around, she eventually completely turns around. Sure, it takes a little bit of time and she always has her turning points, but she was able to turn around all 3 of the before-mentioned things that were originally disliked about her. She stopped killing people, she worked alongside the good guys. And for what reason? Because it's what her adopted son, whom she loves more than anyone in existence, wanted her to do. Like I said, incredible. Just the genuine feeling I get when she tries to turn her life around for the better. I actually shared the pain of her struggle as I watched it all unfold. It worked out amazingly, and therefore, she was definitely one of my absolute favorite characters to not just watch, but get to know on screen. Now, before we get to my number 1 favorite character from the show, let's take a quick look at some honorable mentions that I sadly couldn't put in the top 10. Neil Cassidy, Balefire. This character is just amazing in every way. I really wanted him on the list, but he just didn't make it. But watching this kid go through dark event after dark event pretty much his whole life is just really pulls me in. I mean, just by knowing he's Rumpelstiltskin's son, you know he's going to play a big, likable role. The main thing that I like about him is how stable of a character he is. Allow me to explain. He was born with parents who were growing apart, had to witness everybody considering his father a coward, witnessed his father becoming the Dark One, watching him kill people with his new power, being abandoned by his father after he refused to give up the power, spending however many years in Neverland, the most dangerous world in existence pretty much in this show, falling in love with Emma in our world, but then being forced to abandon her and her son so she can break the curse. Neil has gone through some serious shit. And yet, he is able to forgive his father, win back the woman he loves, and still has the fucking strength to sacrifice his life to save his family. Jesus H. Christ. It makes me so pissed off that he couldn't be on this list. But I just want you guys to know how much I love his character. Leroy, or Grumpy. Yeah, I know, he didn't have too big of a role in this series, but he still had a pretty damn decent one. And I think his character is pretty realistic as well as entertaining. Despite his natural grumpy attitude after losing the fairy he loved, he still manages to have a big heart and be a loyal friend to Snow White and Prince Charming. Plus, he's also the most relatable to me. Yeah, you heard right, I act exactly how Grumpy acts in this series. I would be grumpy if I were one of the 7 dwarfs. Just letting you know. Dr. Whale, or Dr. Victor Frankenstein. I have no clue how the hell Frankenstein made it into a fairy tale series, but I have to say, he doesn't really feel out of place at all. He manages to keep the plot going whenever he can by being the head doctor in Storybrooke, and I have to say, as Dr. Frankenstein, he seems very believable. This is probably the best actor for Frankenstein I've ever seen. But there's a limit to how much I like him. He has been known to be an asshole, and his acting can be stiff. But still, his character would have made my list if it were longer. And last but not least, Jefferson, or Mad Hatter, because Winter Soldier actor. Anyway, now, my number 1 favorite character from Once Upon a Time is, if you haven't guessed already, Mr. Gold, or Rumpelstiltskin. The ultimate glue that keeps all the jigsaw pieces of the puzzle that is this series together. Out of all the characters I've seen in the show, he has been the most colorful. I mean, he talks in riddles, he's likable even when he's insane or being evil, and like a lot of the bad people in the show, he turned his life around completely. Even with how evil Rumpel has become as the Dark One, he still has a shred of good in him. The shred of good for his son Balefire. I mean, yes, he did completely abandon his son for his own power, but he immediately regretted it, and went to hell and back millions of times to get him back. And even when he actually physically found him, he still had to struggle to get him back since his son hated his guts. But his goodness is truly revealed when he falls in love with Belle, since he replaces the role of the Beast in this series. And with the combination of those 2 loves that he is able to work alongside the heroes multiple times, and uses his dark magic for good. He is the defining proof in the series that any character in it can change. Hell, even Cora, the Queen of Hearts, realized how dark and evil she had become right before she died. The only character who had no redeeming qualities whatsoever was Peter Pan pretty much. But Rumpel's change was just amazing, and even at his most evil points, I still was entertained. Whenever he was emotional, I felt the emotion. Whenever he was normal, he was either delivering clever dialogue or being funny as hell.
Why do you spin so much?
I like to watch the wind. Helps me forget.
Forget what?
I guess it worked.
There's absolutely nothing I can say about his character that is bad, which is why he is my number 1 favorite. Alright, that concludes this list. Let me know in the comments below who your favorite character in the show is if you're a fan like me. And as always, if you like what you see, go ahead and click that like button. If you want to see more, subscribe for more top lists as well as other content on my channel. You can also check out more top 10s, countdowns, and fun facts videos by clicking the annotation. Thank you guys for watching, and remember to stay your awesome selves always. See you next time.
Next time, I will run so fast and so far that you will never even set eyes on this child.
But it comes from love. My love for our child and you.
I've loved you since the first moment I saw you.
And I'll love you until my last.
out of our evil, seek to bring forth good. Our labor must be to pervert that end.
It's time for all of us to believe in each other.
And out of good, still to find means of evil.
I tried to be good once, but it wasn't in the cards.
Of hope and fears and dangers heard so often.
I need you to believe. Believe in what? Believe in magic.
In worst extremes, and on the perilous edge of battle when it raged. In all assaults, their surest signals, they will soon resume new courage and revive, though now they lie groveling and prostrate on yon lake of fire.
Evil isn't born, it's made.
As we, erewhile, astounded and amazed.
Magic isn't about what you see, it's about what you feel inside.
No wonder, fallen such a pernicious height. Awake. Arise. Or be forever frozen.
Once Upon a Time. Sundays 8/7 Central, starting September 28th on ABC.
Hola mundo, soy Karla, bienvenidos a MasterDK y hoy les traigo el Once Upon a Time Book Tag. Sí hay un tag de Once Upon a Time, apenas me enteré, yo te hago a ti. Así que todos los videos que tenía que subir esta semana, como el wrap up de los libros, tanto como de las series y películas, que este mes lo voy a subir un poco después porque este video lo hago ahora. Si no saben, Once Upon a Time es una de mis series favoritas de todos los tiempos y me encanta. Y en honor de que salió la 4ª temporada voy a hacer este tag. Y de hecho es la serie que inspiró el nombre del canal, así que me encanta, me encanta. Sí, básicamente son los personajes de la serie que relaciono con libros. Y, este tag, no sé dónde rayos lo vi, creo que me apareció en Facebook y quedé como en un blog, no en un canal de YouTube, pero les voy a dejar el link del blog que lo vi ahí abajo, y si es que encuentro el video o el blog original, también se los voy a dejar abajo para que todos lo hagan. Y si comencemos, el primer personaje es Blancanieves o Mary Margaret, y para esto hay que elegir un libro que te muestre las cosas lindas de la vida, y para eso elegí The Book Thief o La ladrona de libros por Marcus Zusak. Y sí sé que históricamente hablando no pasa nada lindo, sin embargo como que los personajes y las cosas que hacen, como son nazis que ayudan a un judío y dan tanto mientras tienen tan poco, es tan precioso y te enseña cosas bonitas y me encanta mucho eso de este libro. Reina malvada o Regina, un personaje malo pero que te guste, y para esto elegí a Sebastián de la trilogía, de la serie de The Mortal Instruments, pero aparece en el spoilers. Sí, creo que su maldad, de la manera tan psicópata y salvaje en la que él lleva a cabo sus cosas, es porque me fascina tanto y me gusta tanto como un villano. Si no saben, a mí me encantan las personas malas de los libros y películas, no sé por qué, siempre lo encuentro demasiado interesante y me gusta saber más de ellos y me encantan por alguna extraña razón, y creo que este es uno de los personajes más malos que lo hace solamente porque es malo. Es un demonio y me encanta, y sí, Rumpelstiltskin o el Mr. Gold o el Señor Gold, un libro que te hayan recomendado y que no te haya gustado. Para esto voy a elegir Ciudades de Papel o Paper Towns de John Green. El año pasado me terminé The Fault in Our Stars y estaba como, ¿qué es esto? Me encantó ese libro cuando lo leí y no me acuerdo quién, pero creo que en Goodreads alguien me dijo, oh, ahora tienes que leerte Paper Towns, que es igual de bueno y te va a encantar y no sé qué y bla bla bla, y lo leí y ese libro no es que lo haya odiado, pero no me gusta, es como... Y creo que me leí todos los libros de John Green excepto el de Catherine, el teorema de Catherine, creo que se llama en español. Y no me gusta casi ninguno tanto, son como no sé, como que le atinó en The Fault in Our Stars, pero el resto sinceramente no encuentro que sean tan ¡wow! El Cazador o el Sheriff Graham, no me acuerdo cómo se pronuncia su apellido, pero un personaje que haya cambiado mucho para bien o para mal. Para esto voy a elegir a Juliet de la trilogía de Ignite Me. Creo que cada vez que me preguntan algo así, elijo a Juliet porque la Juliet del primer libro no es la misma Juliet de este libro. Es impresionante los cambios por los que ella ha pasado y son cambios geniales. En este libro una persona tan independiente, tan proactiva que va a hacer todo lo posible para acabar con todas las cosas que pasan, que no voy a decir nada porque spoilers, y sí, es genial, me encanta Juliet y Warner, que le ayudó a ser la persona que es, así que Warner. Caperucita Roja o Ruby, un libro que parecía ser algo pero terminó siendo otra cosa. Para esto elegí To All the Boys I've Loved Before por Jenny Han, que yo esperaba como un contemporáneo cliché con drama, amor, típico contemporáneo, bla bla bla, y tiene esas cosas, pero es tan diferente a lo que yo esperaba. Creo que a todas las del club nos pasó lo mismo, que esperábamos que tomara cierto camino y terminó tomando algo totalmente inesperado, y me encantó mucho eso. Y creo que esa es una de las razones por las cuales me gusta tanto este libro, porque no es algo que tú te imaginas, que tienes la premisa y hay un camino obvio por el cual Jenny Han podría haber ido, y yo pensé que iba a ir por ese camino, pero toma otro muy nada que ver, y por eso me encanta tanto. Cora, un libro con una portada alentadora y contenido desastroso. Creo que durante los años que yo he leído nunca he encontrado un libro que sea como con el contenido. Siento que todos los libros tienen como algo igual que sea interesante o algo que me gusta. Así que el libro que voy a elegir... lo siento a todas las personas que probablemente ofenda con esto, porque sé que varias personas lo disfrutaron cuando lo leyeron, y esa es la probabilidad estadística de amor a primera vista. Yo cuando comencé el libro lo estaba disfrutando, era como un contemporáneo ya romántico, cliché, bonito, que me iba a sacar de la resaca literaria en la que estaba en ese momento, pero luego... llegamos a Inglaterra, se pone fome el libro y más encima la personaje ya está completamente enamorada del otro hombre, llevan como unas 6 horas juntos y es como, ¿me estás molestando? ¿Qué es esto? Y no sé, es como, sentí que era de esos amores muy forzados y que me molestó mucho y ese libro no puedo, o sea, me voy. Garfio, que es mi personaje favorito junto con Regina y Pan, un personaje egocéntrico, antipático, ¿y cuál es la otra? Y sarcástico, que a pesar de todas estas cosas tiene un corazón. Acá hay muchos, pero voy a elegir a Damon Black de la serie Looks for Jennifer, el Almondtrout. Esta polera se me cae. No sé, si se han leído este libro entienden completamente que Damon al principio es un maldito hombre que es súper pesado con la protagonista. Sin embargo, nos damos cuenta después que tiene como este lado sensible y que a las personas a quien él ama, las ama incondicionalmente y las protege demasiado. Y eso es algo que me gusta porque él defiende mucho las cosas que a él le importan. Aurora, un libro que te haya hecho dormir al principio y luego llegando al final te revivió porque genial. Y para esto elegí The Raven Boys o La Profecía del Cuervo por Maggie Stiefvater. Las primeras 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 páginas son como, ya sí, ok, interesante, pero es tan descriptivo el libro que está ahí como... y luego, como, ¿qué está pasando? ¿Qué está pasando? Y me encanta, eso es una de las razones por las cuales me gusta el libro. Yo no esperaba que terminara siendo de esta manera, porque al principio estaba medio aburrido, y me encanta mucho, y el segundo libro es también como... Bella, un personaje que le encante leer. Voy a elegir a mi bebé Will Herondale de la trilogía de los orígenes. Lee Contessa y le gusta leer y lee solo y se leen y me encanta y lo amo mucho. O también puede repetirse Katie de este libro porque ella es básicamente nosotras, porque ella hace videos, tiene un blog y hace book hauls y varias cosas de libros, así que... Mulan, un libro lleno de valentía y honor. De esto creo que cualquier libro de la serie de Harry Potter por J.K. Rowling sirve porque todos los personajes pasan por cosas tan terribles y aún así siguen adelante y es genial y todos los personajes muestran ser valientes a través de los libros porque todos hacen cosas que no deberían hacer, que tienen miedo de hacer y aún así lo hacen para luego ser felices y libres y encuentro que es Henry, un libro que haya aparecido en tu camino por obra del destino. Para esto elegí nada que ver, An Earthly Force in the Hand o El designio del ángel, creo que se llama en español. No tengo ni la menor idea qué rayos estaba buscando en Goodreads y luego de la nada me aparece este libro. No me acuerdo cómo rayos llegué a la página con este libro y vi que tiene buen rating y fue como... ¿O por qué no? Y ahora me encanta, es una de mis trilogías favoritas, los libros enteros y no sé qué más decir. Gracias Destino por ponerme frente a este libro porque tan bueno. Emma, esta es la pregunta original, es un personaje que te gustaría ser del Bosque Encantado, pero yo voy a poner un personaje fuerte, independiente, que patea traseros, si no sé qué es esto. Y obviamente elegí a Katniss Everdeen de la trilogía de los Juegos del Hambre por Susan Collins y esta bolera me está estresando. No sé qué decirles porque acabo de definir básicamente a Katniss con esa descripción de fuerte, valiente, independiente, patea traseros. Esa es Katniss, ¿qué más quieren que les diga? Y sí, eso es todo por el video el tag de hoy. Muchas gracias a todos por ver y voy a taggear a unas personas que sé que aman Once Upon a Time. Primero voy a taggear a Cloud de Cloud Reads Books, voy a taggear a Zack del Rincón de Zack, a Cami de Bla Bla Books, a Laura de Muchachas Ojos de Papel, a Ana de Fly to the Wonderland, a Sebastián, no encontré el nombre de tu canal, y a Ceso, y en verdad todas las personas fans de la serie porque todos deben mostrar cuánto aman a la serie a través de este tag. Así que sí, muchas gracias a todos por ver y nos vemos en el próximo video.
Hi you guys, I wanted to share something with you that's happening in the Once Upon a Time fandom that's really exciting. We're getting new merchandise, and no one's really talking about it, so I wanted to share it with you, do a quick review, and then show you some of the other merchandise that if you're not quite into what I'm about to show you, there's other options out there of what you can do to help support the show. So let's take a look at it. This is the Captain Hook shirt. It's available at Hot Topic and on HotTopic.com. It has a nice blue color, really makes Mr. O'Donoghue pop out. And it also has the Once Upon a Time logo right there on the bottom. And it's a girl cut shirt, and it's only $22.50 online and in the stores. And sometimes online runs a few 25% off deals, so I think right now it's currently like 16 bucks. But you just have to keep in mind that you have to watch that because sometimes they're on sale and sometimes they're not. So let's make a quick review of this and see what makes this shirt so awesome. So I love the design of this shirt. I love that it's a long, full body shot of Mr. O'Donoghue, because if you're a fan of Project Runway like I am, Tim Gunn always talks about how long vertical designs can make you look taller and slender. And being a girl cut shirt, it hugs your natural waistline. And going back on that Tim Gunn thing for a second, I know I recently lost 50 pounds in the last year, so I'm still kind of adjusting to being comfortable with my body. And so that's why I really like this shirt, because when we got it in, I took a picture of it and put it up on Twitter, and I looked at the picture and I was just like, damn, I look really tall. Like, this makes me look taller, makes me look more slender, and it's just a really great material. It's really soft, and it's just fantastic, and I absolutely love the design of the shirt. Like I said, the blue really makes them pop out, and you can see that little peak of the logo at the bottom, just like I said. And it's super soft. It's really awesome. I really highly suggest getting this shirt. It's absolutely fantastic. But maybe this isn't quite what you're looking for, and we're going to talk about that right now. About a week ago, I started promoting this shirt on Twitter and Facebook and Tumblr, and I've gotten some questions back. And the two biggest questions I've gotten back are there guys' shirts, and are there shirts with other characters on them? At the time of recording this video, no, there's not. But I'm going to tell you some ways that you can get other shirts and other merchandise through Hot Topic. The first way to do it is to go to the website. If you go to the bottom of the Hot Topic webpage, there's a Contact Us section, and you can click on that, choose feedback and general questions, and then just type in your message and send it off to them. The other thing you can do is go into your local hot topic. We do this thing called a Sunday recap, and we take suggestions from customers throughout the week, put in the Sunday recap, and then send it off to our wonderful district managers who takes them to the higher ups. And that's another way that we can get products. That's how we got a lot of our great Game of Thrones products and a bunch of other awesome cool things like Funko figures. So that is another way. We'll be more than happy to put in our Sunday recaps. You just have to let us know what characters, what kind of shirts, if you want guy shirts, just let us know, alright? One last quick note, you can also wear this shirt with a great bolero or a cardigan and then be like nerdy super chic. I absolutely love this jacket. I wear it with everything. But yeah, and that way you can look like really kind of like a classy, super nerdy chic girl. Or I guess a guy if you want to wear a bolero. To each their own, man. Men, wear your boleros if you love them. So why is merchandise so important? Okay, you can make fun of me, but I went to a My Little Pony panel 2 years ago at DragonCon, and we talked about the importance of merchandise. It's what pays for TV shows. That's how you get, you know, your guest actors like Mr. Sebastian Stan. Please fight for him to come back. He's my favorite character, and he's amazing. He's interesting. I love him. I love him so much. Mwah. Please come back to us. You know, it pays for those guest spots. It pays for CGI. It pays to have new seasons. So that's why merchandising is so important. So if you do want to see the return of those awesome guest actors or CGI or anything like that improve, or just to see more seasons, it pays for seasons. It's a paycheck for them. I mean, they're essentially doing their job. You know, this is a job that they have to get paid for. You wouldn't want to go to work and not get paid. So this is why merchandise is so important. Sebastian Stan. So I'm going to be a little critical of ABC right now. And I'm sorry guys, but this is the 4th Once Upon a Time shirt from Hot Topic. 4th. The first one had the logo on it, second one had Regina and it said Evil Queen. The third one was the down, down, down the rabbit hole one, and it has the Once Upon a Time logo so you can see that it's legit. And then this is the 4th, and I don't understand why ABC is not promoting this merchandise, because it's so cool. I mean, look how cool this shirt. I wore this to DragonCon, and no one even knew it existed, and that this kind of merchandise was out there for Once Upon a Time, and it's official merchandise. If they're not going to promote it, then let's do it ourselves, fans. We're going to do guerrilla advertising. Tweet it, tell your friends, you're blogging on Tumblr, put in your Facebook Once Upon a Time groups, ask your podcast buddies to talk about it on their shows, and let them know that this merchandise is out there, because like I said, it pays for the show. You know, likes and favorites on Tumblr and Twitter are great, but make sure you're also reblogging it too, because it gets it out there. You know, it lets people know and lets your followers know that it's out there. So let's do this, fans, and don't be another lost shirt down the rabbit hole. See what I did there? So maybe apparel doesn't do it for you. There's still lots of great merchandise out there. Like maybe consider getting the Once Upon a Time guide behind the magic. It's a really cool guide. It has actor interviews, it has breakdowns of all the episodes and stuff like that. Some of the cool stuff is they have tidbits about the episode. Like, did you know when Lancelot said, God in his mercy lend her grace? That's actually from a Lord Tennyson poem. Whoa! And also if you're a cosplayer, they have prop breakdowns. Like there's an awesome Mad Hatter hat, and it actually has great pictures of the props, costume designs and stuff like that. So this is really cool for cosplayers, and this is also great to see like behind the scenes stuff. They have a look at all the scenery and scenic designs, and just great. I just love this book. Absolutely love it. I read it all the time. And you know, maybe you don't want a book. Maybe you want to go with the classic DVD or soundtrack. My personal favorite piece of merchandise that's come out, though, is Shadow of the Queen. Oh my god, it's so good. It's produced by Marvel, and I'm already a huge fan of Marvel. I might have my stack of comics right there where you can't see them. Under the dust jacket, it looks like Henry's book. How cool is that? And the art is beautiful. It's the story of Graham in his time serving the evil queen. And it has a great story. It has Snow and has Ruby in it. It gives a little bit more backstory. I'm not going to give a big spoiler, but it's really good. You find out someone is someone's true love, and it's someone that I'm sad because they had no interaction on the show, and I was just like, what? Anyway, but it has Snow and Ruby. It's really cool. It also has Graham. My only criticism of this book, though, it has nothing to do with story. It has nothing to do with the art, because the art's gorgeous and the story is pretty solid. The only thing is, it has a $21 price point, and it's only 4 chapters with some extra content. Now, let's compare to the first issue of Winter Soldier. This is $15 with 4 chapters, and extra content. This is a softback. I'm going to destroy my comic. And this one is a hardback. You're paying the extra, like, $6 for this to be a hardcover, which is, I don't really like. I'd rather them do trade paperbacks, or if they're going to do such a high price point, put in more content, because this is a really thin book. And then you have others, like the original Winter Soldier. This is $24, so it's $3 more than this. It's still a softback, but it has 7 chapters and extra content. So I really love, though, the comic book form. I hope they do this. I would love to see background in Neverland, because we never got Felix's backstory. We never got Balefire in Neverland, other than being on Hook's ship. We had 0 interaction between Tinkerbell and Pan, and I think this would be a really great way to fill in all the blank spots in the TV show, and to fill in the plot holes. So I would love for them to do more comics like this. Let's do this, guys. And this is a really great read, and it's really short. So you'll finish it in like less than an hour, and it's really good. I love it so much. So shout out to the Queen. Now, what if there's certain merchandise that you're not quite seeing? Well, you can go to the source. Like, if you want to see more comics like Shout Out to the Queen, go to Marvel. You know, suggest it on their website, suggest it nicely on their Twitter, and just let them know that this is something you're interested in. And like I said, personally, I collect Funko figures. Let me do something that's not Sebastian Stan, because I've shown off like 5 Winter Soldier things. I collect pop figures. I love Funko figures. And Funko's really good about putting on their Facebook and their Twitter, like, so, what do you want to see next from us? And I've suggested a few times, once upon a time, I would love to have some exclusives, like have the main cast, and then have a few exclusives, like maybe Jefferson. I love Sebastian Stan, don't even judge me. Maybe Jefferson. I would love to see Victor. They're my 2 personal favorites. I've seen a lot of people asking for Once Upon a Time Funko figures. And I saw one girl on Tumblr make one. Like, she made her own Emma, and it was really cool. Except the money wasn't going to Once Upon a Time. I think she used a Raj from Big Bang Theory. That money is going to Big Bang Theory, not to Once Upon a Time. And don't get me wrong, I love Big Bang Theory. It's one of my favorite shows. I've done an entire podcast on Big Bang Theory. But I mean, this is, you know, if you want to see these things, suggest it to Funko and let them know that there's an interest. Companies won't make merchandise if they don't think anyone is interested in it. So if you want to see more comics, if you want to see Funko figures, if you want to see other things like, I don't know, buttons, go to a button website and suggest these items. Now, what if you just don't want to buy any merchandise? And that's cool. It's your money. Do with it what you want to. But I would suggest maybe supporting the actors and the creators in some of their own personal projects. I know Raphael Sabarge created Greenwish. It's a humanitarian organization who funds local green projects in your community, and you can start a chapter through Greenwish and be like really awesome and help save the environment. I know Colin O'Donoghue, used to be a part of a band called The Enemies. He was one of the founding members. He was with them for a long time. And while he's still not with them anymore, Johnny and Ronan are precious baby faces. Like, you need to love them. The Enemies are so great. You can still hear Mr. O'Donoghue on a lot of their earlier EPs. And he actually, if I remember correctly, came back and recorded with them one last album. And they're going to be releasing it soon. It's called Sounds Big on the Radio. And Johnny and Ronan, I'm so excited for it. I can't wait for it. Hurry up and release it. I want it so bad. I want it. Give it to me. So I definitely suggest checking out The Enemies. Even though Mr. O'Donoghue's not a part of it anymore, they're still great. I love Johnny and Ronan, the nicest guys on Twitter. If you guys tour the East Coast and you come to Atlanta, let me know. I will take you out to drinks, and we'll hang out and we'll have a great time. So I would suggest doing The Enemies. You know, Jenny Goodwin designed some shows for Milk and Honey, and the proceeds of these shoes went to St. Jude's Hospital. Once Upon a Fan, which is, you know, like the biggest Once Upon a Time website online, they do a charity auction every year. I saw something when I was researching this called the Lana Project, and it was this group on Facebook, and they were raising money so Lana could donate on her birthday to a charity of her choice. And so there's like some really cool things going on within this fandom that we could donate to. So that's just another idea if you don't want to, you know, like get any official merchandise. Look into some of these projects and see what's out there. One last really quick thing. A lot of my friends are artists. I personally am a freelance myself. And you go on Redbubble, go on Society6, go on Etsy, go on all these great websites, because there's a lot of artists with a lot of super cool Once Upon a Time merchandise, like my awesome Dr. Whale shirt that I love so much. David Anzers actually owns this shirt. Like, David has this shirt, and it's super cool, man. Jean, my girl. Jean, I love you. One of my favorites is Trash and Scraps. Trash and Scraps on Tumblr. She has a really nice like Belle shirt. It's really cool. It's cute. Like Belle's pushing a little wheelbarrow full of books. It's a really cute shirt. So yeah, go check out all the artists, man. Artists are where it's at, and you can get something unique that, you know, like while you might like official merchandise, you can get something a little bit more unique that's a little bit more you. Because God help me, they're never gonna make Victor Frankenstein stuff, and they're never gonna make Jefferson stuff, no matter how much I want it. So I have to go for this stuff. Thanks, guys. I really love it. So I want you guys to go out there, tell other people about merchandise that's going on, tell people about the merchandise that got forgotten, and tell people about the merchandise that you might want to see more, like more comics. So yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys when I see you. Bye.